Kaisa, there was a can of Dick Kaemamu, my German, Life at the end of the month, no salary, no salary. Security day and not resting the last day will be one life. At the end of the month, no salary. All right, Mr. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to each and every one of you. Welcome to the program, the Print News Review. You heard the music. The music is saying it all what we are going through right now. People hating one another. We going to work, but they don't get paid, or so it's a whole lot the music is covering here. But welcome to the show. It's great that we're back on the platform on this Wednesday. We are here Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays on the Print News Review. On those days, we have different guest analysts here. But tonight, of course, sitting with me will be Amos. We'll be looking at some of those stories that actually appeared today that made the headlines in mostly our newspapers. Those that we are available to reach via the internet. We'll take a look into the Bush Chicken newspaper, the News Public Trust, and of course the Front Page Africa. But one thing I want to, first of all, let me welcome Amos. Amos, good evening. How are you? Welcome.
How are you doing, Mike?
I'm good. How are you on that end?
Well, hanging in there.
Okay. Yeah, Amos. Before we go further, because what actually we wanted to talk about as a talking point is this the issue of false information and misinformation coming from within the government circle, especially picking on the story that Sekou Kalasco shared on about the road between Bon County and Lofa County. Particularly, he talks about the Lofa Road. But then I just came on now on social media, saw an apology from him, and he said he used the wrong photo for the correct information. However, I think he challenged now we put out to him is that okay, saying you use the wrong photo for the correct information that the Lofa Road is being built, provide us with the correct photo and to match it. So we are waiting on him. So welcome back. So instead of that, let's highlight the issue of this arrest that is going on in Europe, especially, and America, about war laws and things. And we have a particular story about former UDOMO fighter being arrested in Switzerland. I will read that story as well, but I think we can flag that one up and then link it with the April 5th march that coming up in Monrovia about the establishment of war and economic transfer. What do you think?
Yeah, Mike. You know, I saw the story and I was like, okay. But the story, there's an interesting thing there. If you go down the story, they said that Ellen Johnson and George Weah government are not cooperating. So that is the message now to we that are advocating for war crime in Liberia. You see, there is a player on the Liberian people. Because if these people in Switzerland and other parts of the world are going after people that committed atrocity against us, and our government is not willing to cooperate with those people, what message is just sending to the international community? Because the April 5th March is coming up.
Yeah.
And this arrest, what is telling us that the George Weah government is not in support of the War Crime Code. Because we can't talk about Ellen. Ellen is gone already. But they are seeing that they are not getting cooperation. They mention Ellen And George, we are government, they're not forthcoming. They're not giving any cooperation. So it means that, I hate to say that, President Weah got something against the Liberian people. And
okay.
I stand to be corrected. Because if these people are seeing that the government of Liberia is not cooperating, it's not forthcoming. So what happened to us as Liberians? 250,000 people were killed in a civil war. And you got people in government today who participated, who were the perpetrator of that crime. And President Weah, before coming to power, those were the issues that he campaigned on, that no Liberian blood would be shed for nothing. Those were his words. And today he cannot live up to that promise. What had changed? What had changed that he cannot live up to that promise that he tells us? So we are victims of that war.
Yeah, yeah.
And today to live with people who have no remotes, who are not expressed any remote, any sympathy or empathy for the people who were victimized by that war, and you live with those same people. It's just terrible. And the April 5th March is coming up.
Yeah.
So what is the message now with this issue, with what is coming up today in the paper? What is the message sending us? It's telling us that we have no hope. But I can say this: we will not give up. And any government, whether the we-are-led government or the next government to come, we will not give up. As long as we are living, we will continue to push the matter forward. And if you go furthermore, the ECOWAS court had come up with a statement and said they are not there for war crime. The head of the ECOWAS court was in Liberia. He made that clear. He said it is not a concern.
Well, that's for them. For me, I read the story and they're contradicting themselves anyway. But
okay, yeah.
Let's I'll try. If I emailed the president of the ECOWAS court. I emailed him. I asked him a few questions in that email also. I'm still waiting for the reply. I also invited him on my talk show. I say if you can come and engage with the Liberian people, we highly appreciate where Liberians will be able to even ask you more questions. So
yeah.
We're waiting for his response to see whether they will give us, even if they can reply my questions to that are sent to him with respect to what they said and what they stand for. Because what they stand for, I saw it on their website. I mean, it's contrary to what he said about the war crime cause anyway. I mean, completely contradicted himself or the entire organization. Let's be honest. All right, let's see whether we can do it. So we'll be talking. Dwelling on the issue of the war crime code, crimes code establishment, and coming up to link it with this story of arrests that are going on around Europe. Remember, even here in the UK, what her name, Charles Taylor's former wife, Agnes is staying in prison here, and her hearing was supposed to be in January, but they postponed it again to February, so to June. So we're waiting again. It's more than 1 year now since she'll be in prison. But let me take you through now to some of the headlines that are trending, and then from there we'll come and as usual, any story of interest you want us to expand and read a little bit, we can do it. But let me go quickly to the bush chicken, and welcome to each and every one of you, especially those of you who are watching from live from Liberia. We say welcome to the show. We hope you guys are doing well. We know our country right now, we have to be so much concerned of each other, but that's how it goes. All right, bush chickens. Let's see what's going on in the bush chicken there. Minnesota Attorney General, 9 others support. Minnesota Attorney General's 9. Sorry, let me go back to this one. Chief Justice rejects application to cancel expert witness testimony in impeachment trial. And quickly, let's go to this. Tubman University calls bush chicken report on Professor Shortage misleading. This is a story that I reported the last time that there was such shortages of professors at the university, but the university is saying that the report is misleading and it's not true. Quickly to this, let's see, Minnesota Attorney General, 9 others support lawsuit to block Trump's termination of DED. Quickly to this, heavy rainstorm causes substantial damages near Salala Rubber Corporation. Those are the stories actually, and the last one is about sports. It says here, Liberia's Africa Cup of Nations dream ends right after they receive, beating, right after we receive great flocking there. These are the stories on the bush chicken. I don't know any story you want to just throw a little bit of light on, Amos?
Yeah. I want to throw something on our Chief Justice. The impeachment proceeding are going on. You know, they did call former Chief Justice Philip Banks to testify as an expert witness.
Yeah.
And when he testified, he said something. And what he said was that Article 34 of the Constitution gave the exclusive right only to the Liberian legislature to levy fees and tariff against Liberian businesses, not the minister, not any commissioners.
Yeah.
But what they did in that case, he said the Minister of Finance at the time got together and came up with the duty. And they started imposing on the Liberian people 1 year before the law was passed at the legislature. Then, when you were sitting in Chima at the time, one of those companies filed to ask for prohibition. Because why? LPR charged 3 cents per gallon to store the fuel in the facility. They agree on that. Then LPR went and fined, and the other company gave them 50% another duty to be paid.
Yeah.
Then they went back to the company and levied again another 30% duty to be paid. It was when the company went to the Supreme Court. And the justice in Chimo at that time was Philip Banks. So Philip Banks said he issued a prohibition based on the law that he could not hear that case alone because it had become a constitutional issue. So he forwarded the full bench. So he left. Cabinet General came in sitting in Chimo. It was when Amiata and other companies came and brought a similar complaint. So Cabinet General said that when he looked at the complaint, and the first judge that was sitting in Chimo with a Philip Bank, he did the senior, so he too forwarded the case to the 4 banks.
Yeah.
But what the House of Representatives did and never explained to the Liberian people, they said that Cabinet General had blocked the road fund. You see there? They say he told the company not to pay anything. He had issued prohibition not to pay anything. So it means that Cabinet General was standing in the way of development. They didn't explain to the Liberian people what the procedure was, how the rate was issued, and what the basis. So now, the bank said, based upon that, it was unconstitutional for the minister or group of people to sit down and just come up with a tax or tariff against the Liberian people. Then what the manager did, who the manager are the lawmakers, they are the complainant. So what they did now, they say, oh no, all that testimony that Philip Ben did, it should be erased from the record because he's not a constitutional scholar. He doesn't have a degree in constitutional law. So the whole testimony should be scratched from the record. So that when the Chief Justice said, no, they will find part of the record. You see that? And Philip Ben went on to say he taught constitutional law at Yale Law School. and he had written a book. He served as a research officer on the National Constitutional Committee, which Winston Tubman was chair. And he said right now, because the manager challenging 1,000-page research paper on Liberian law. But it is a little bit a complicated story to explain, but that's the bottom line. That was a rejection from the judge from cannot except this to erase it from the record. There has to be an interesting case to follow. You see, so what they did, what the House of Representatives did not do the research, or probably they knew, but just to create this thing of impeachment, and just came up with a story that cabinet that because I wanted the petition they had to petition or to back the rule funds. But the justices at the time said that no, that is a constitutional argument. So the 4 bench got to hear it. One judge cannot decide in chamber. So what cabinet did that? They 5 judges, including the man who was hearing the case, signed on it that case should be heard by the 4 bench. But they have portrayed cabinet general to be like he was doing. That's the image they have. They are creating. That cabinet general was doing favor for this company and blocking the road fund for development. You see that?
Okay.
So it's quite interesting.
Okay. Right. All right. Let me. I wanted to move to another story quickly, or the other newspaper, but let's hear from Mr. King. I think yes, Mr. King is calling.
Yes, how you doing, Max? You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Welcome. Good evening.
Okay, hi. I just quickly want to make a comment on this issue. The Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia is the final interpreter of what is constitutional and what is not. With regards to that, Justice Bank cannot be an expert witness on the Constitution in the legislature. Only the Supreme Court as a body determines what is constitutional and what is not. Now, Councillor Banks is a teacher and former associate justice. He's quite correct. He is a professional. With regards to that aspect, that's fine. And when you say he's not qualified to teach, but to declare something unconstitutional, it is vested in the Supreme Court as a body of the Republic of Liberia. That is where the distinction is. And I'm not a lawyer, but I studied constitutional law as a law enforcement officer. So I cannot get up and say, just because I studied that, I'm an expert. No, it's the court of law. The Supreme Court is the final arbiter of what is constitutional and what is not.
Yeah,
that's all I want to put in there.
All right, thank you. Indeed.
If people cannot say so. Now you discrediting him because he doesn't know this or he doesn't have a degree. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what is the officially accepted position in the government is that the Supreme Court is the final arbiter of what is constitutional or not.
Yeah,
that's all I want.
All right, Mr. King, thank you. Indeed, that one is everywhere, even where we are in the States, in the United Kingdom as well.
Let me tell you just something. The manager at the time did not raise the issue. The manager, which is the House of Representatives, they didn't raise that issue. They allow him to testify. This that raise that issue that he cannot be a constitutional expert on this case because he heard this case, he heard part of this case before, and he's part of the social justice. So the manager did not raise that issue.
But they are getting things wrong because, I mean, I thought the whole case is supposed to be dealt with, through the law book. Let them go through the law book and so on. Because at the end of the day, if you know definitely that what you are doing is not good, you shouldn't do it. Especially so, I mean, you should be the last person that will actually betray the law of the land. Being being in a position to know the law and to interpret the law for people and whatsoever. If you say that you actually betray the law of the land, then actually you're messing things up. Anyway, you know what? Let's progress a little bit. There's this story. I want to tie in this particular story. Let's share this story a little bit. In Minnesota Attorney General here, because it seems to be it's almost like the war crimes thing that we're fighting. The people from different part of the world are even more interested in helping us to fight the war than our own Liberia, to fight for the establishment of war and economic crimes code, more than our own Liberians. So let me take a gist of this story and then link it with the number 2 spokesman of the government of Liberia. Because the number 2 would be Eugene Fagon, what he said. Okay, let me take this story. We are staying at with the bush chicken. Yes, it says here Minnesota's Attorney General, 9 others support lawsuit to block Trump's termination of DED. Those of our sisters and brothers that are actually on a temporary status in America. Okay, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison has co-led a coalition of attorneys general from 9 states and the District of Columbia in supporting Liberians who have filed lawsuit to block President Donald Trump's termination of their deferred enforcement departure status. Minnesota is home to one of the country's largest Liberian communities, with nearly 16,000 people who were born in Liberia or claim Liberian ancestry. Most of these individuals have lived in the U.S. for more than 20 years, but risk deportation to Liberia as the lawsuit of the expiration of their DED status on Sunday, March 31st. DED beneficiaries, according to the United States Citizenship and Immigration Service, are Liberians or stateless individuals who last resided in Liberia and have lived in the U.S. since 2002. Some held another immigration status called temporary protected status up to September 30, 2007, and were subsequently covered by DED. More than 4,000 Liberians are covered under the program. Trump issued a memorandum last year extending the status for an additional 1-year period, which ends in less than a week, actually, in a few days' time. Yes, indeed, I agree with you. In addition to several ongoing campaigns and actions to prevent the deportation of Liberians and secure permanent resident status or a further extension of the program, a group of plaintiffs who are scheduled to lose the DED protections because of Trump's directive filed a lawsuit on March the 8th in the U.S. District Court for the District of Massachusetts. I mean, see this? They have filed a motion for the court to enjoin the Trump's administration from enforcing the president's directive by removing Liberian immigrants who are DED beneficiaries. If granted, the injunction would prevent the administration from implementing the president's directive, at least until the plaintiffs' constitutional rights are fully adjudicated in federal court. But this is something I was talking to somebody last time when this story came about, Amos, and the person was telling me, he said, well, I think the Liberians are taking a good trend, because if they file in the lawsuit, there's a possibility that the case, the deportation, number one, it will be squashed because it is in the court now. They can't just remove them. Definitely the court, the proceeding got to go ahead. So in that case, it's now a case that's going to just be hurriedly heard within 2 or 3 weeks or so. maybe they're going to say, okay, they will do the first interface, and from there, maybe they say, okay, after 3, 4, 5 months, you'll come back. And maybe now from dragging from one point to another, it could lead to a fruitful result. But that's how it is. But I thought to bring this story because let me flag this out before you come in. Because our brother posted this when this issue was going on, Eugene L. Fagon. He said this, and I quote him: "When one, oh sorry, this was on company. He said that the Liberians who were bad mouthed in the government, I mean his government, they were always on the back of the CDC-led government. Today they are in trouble and they're calling on the CDC, the same CDC-led government, to come to their aid." And he actually, put a mockery on them as well, as if to say these people are not even citizens of Liberia. I don't know, what's your thought on it?
Mike, Eugene Falcon, probably he following you. I know he follows you because he recognized me from your show. The post that he did, this is just a complete rubbish.
Yeah.
Well, a citizen of Liberia. We are citizens from Liberia. Your fellow citizens are caught in an immigration issue. It is the government of Liberia's responsibility to speak on these people's behalf if they're having problem with immigration. These people do not go and commit ordinary crime to say, well, that's their business. It's an immigration issue. They are very recent. Some people do not have the all this kind of thing. And we expect the government of Liberia to appeal to the United States government, maybe to regularize the status. There are implications in this thing that Eugene Falcon don't understand. During the Ellen Johnson's government, when the same power came out, it came to the United States in the PIDO program, which Obama then did, I think, for some time. Why Eden did it? One, because you know that the country was not prepared or do not have the infrastructure, jobs, that if you repatriate 25,000 like your home, 10,000, 15,000 home, that would create extra problem, pressure on the government. So based on that, she will appeal to the United States government to exercise no restraint. Now, I've thought that the Georgia government would have taken that same approach. I think they will understand. The United States President Trump or the United States government will understand. But with our current situation now, if you send people home, our government will have problems because we have no means of employing, providing jobs or any other social program that will put these people back on their feet. Right now, we cannot do it. We can't afford it. So we'll ask you to give her a room, to extend the time, or if you can regularize, these people can regularize the status, those who are not committed any crime against you. But for Eugene Falcon to go and write such a thing, it's just sad. Beyond the pale. Why would you say that? The government is for every Liberian. So, and let me say this: not every Liberian will support every government. People will have differences with government. These people are not talking about overthrowing the government. If someone maybe someone not saying about the government, they are not linked to the government to criticize the government. And for you to put everybody in one basket to address that, now you put in trouble is now you're calling upon the government. So it's that Mr. Falcon is telling under the government for a certain group of people, for to support them so that even though they will see the interest, because that's a statement that Eugene Falcon is making. And this guy is the Deputy Minister of Information for Cultural Affairs. So he speaks on behalf of the government. That statement comes from the government. that the government is speaking. So it means that the government is telling Liberians, we don't care about you. Once you don't support Georgia, we don't care about you. This is why they are telling Liberians abroad, even at home, that the same statement that he made, that applies to people whom we don't care about you. Why would Eugene Falcon make such a statement about Liberians who don't support the government? So when in trouble, why did you call on the government? What people have done to the government? Is that people right to say something if the government is not doing right in the country? And it's sad that these people have been contributing financially. All these people you're talking about, they send money home. That help the government. So why would Eugene Falcon come out to make such a statement? And the whole thing that'll get to me, and some people always maybe refer to me that I don't like we are no. I don't know this man. But what I got against is that when officials of the government uttering this kind of statement, and the government does not rebut it, does not retract the statement, then of course I come to the belief that he sanctioned the government, which is present. We are sanctioned those statements because it's the Deputy Minister of Information for Culture and Tourism. So he's the most.
You know, let me hold you there, Amos. This is me and my platform here. Let me let you know. Even friendship, when somebody send me friends request, I will have to go and check your background before I accept it. You must have a photo, because you saw my photo before even you decide to send me request. Now, if you come on my platform, you don't even have an identity. You're standing behind different image and you're throwing words. I'll let you go soon. I will block you. I'm not here to verify anything. I'm not even going to mention your name. But in the same God that you pray for, that those people should be deported, that the same God we are praying for. That's why lawyers that are not even born in Liberia are pure Americans. All of them, most of them never even been to Liberia. They have decided to take this case free of charge for Liberians and plead and help them to plead it. So the same God you praying that they will go back home, that the same God we are praying that in the name of Jesus, we fire it back to you. They will stay in Liberia and continue to support you indirectly or directly, because the money that we send back home every day, that what keeping those banks opening. Let me let you know now if you don't know. The money we send from here, not the timber the government's been selling. No, not the diamond. We're going different places. How much money the LRA can raise so far? Okay, how much money? Even last year, the remittance, even I had to call the World Bank. They said it. That bulk of what Liberia is surviving on is what we send back home. All right, thank you. So let me see. So on the case of the deportation issue, I think every Liberian, for that matter, should be able to actually get behind our citizen, because other than that, at the end of the day, it will be all of us problem. It will be all of us problem. And
the recent march in Washington, when they met with the speaker, that was one of the petitions they presented to the speaker on the deferment program. They talked to the speaker about it. Okay, so it's not that Liberians are just sitting down or just cut their hands and say they don't care. The march, the last time in Washington, it was mentioned that they spoke about it. They mentioned that in a petition to the speaker. So Liberians are looking around. But you see, what I'm saying, you kind of post and think, that's why these are some of the things supposed to be sent to Congress so they can see it, or to the lawyers, so they can see it, what this government is doing The Liberian government is thinking about the citizen happy. What they are talking about that. It means that the government don't care. The government doesn't care. It means that the government are taking people who speak against them as enemies. The post entry should be sent to Congress so they can look at or to the Attorney General Keith Ellison in Minnesota. So these are things they should present to court. Reason why that these people should not be sent back home. Look at what the government is seeing and the threat that the government is posing, because those are threats.
Yeah.
The government is posing to these people. Those are threats.
You know, all these things that people are, you know, especially the people on the other side of the fence, like the other individuals that are here, I think it's all bogged down to jealousy and, you know, just petty jealousy also. Perhaps, or, you know, my family or me, I'm not getting the benefit of the, why should somebody else get the benefit also. But anyway, let's progress a little bit. Let's move on to the news public trust paper. Let's see what's there. Another Liberia ex-policeman arrested for allegedly raping child. Wow. Another Liberia ex-policeman arrested for allegedly raping a child. And this one says Justice Janet impeachment trial set to end Thursday with final legal argument. ECOWAS pledges commitment to addressing challenges facing youths. That's after the meeting in Liberia. They promise that's not going to be easy. 2 journalists held in Pretoria detention since February in Comoros. I'm not forgetting your government, even Ghana, they can't even go. That Comoros Island, they will go. All right. This one says here, don't sweep accountability for war passed under the carpet. Bar Association is warning. Don't sweep accountability for war passed under the carpet. It's a reminder there to the government. This is what we're talking about. We want to talk about the War Crimes Code as well. ECC holds National Conference on Electoral Reform on Wednesday. You need to do our census now. I mean, I think the census should have been done on 2007, I think. And up to now, we're still going on the very, very old data. And before the 2023 election, you better do our census so we can know our population. It's a nonsense now. Yeah, we can continue on this. Let me take this story about this this police guy. Let's touch a little bit on it before we go to the front page Africa. Okay, it says here, another former Liberian police officer, Simply Weir, age 50, has been remanded at the Monrovia Central Prison for allegedly abusing his 4-year-old stepdaughter in the Monrovia suburb of Gaytown in Cinco. He is alleged to have committed the act at their residence. Rape in Liberia, a non-bailable offense. The former LMP officer was charged with statutory rape and later forwarded at the Monrovia City Court to face criminal prosecution as provided by law. He was arrested based on complaint from Madam Ruth Davis, who reportedly informed police investigators that former officer Weir sexually abused his stepdaughter in her absent wife. 4 years old. Madam Davis' evidence to police investigators was buttressed by the 4-year-old girl and his neighbor Fatu Doe, who claimed that her stepfather Weir abused her. His neighbor revealed that the stepfather has been threatening to kill the victim if she ever informed her mother, Titi Weir, before she got ill as a result of his action. Man, let me stop there on the story. It's getting a bit emotional now. Amos, I mean, I don't think we winning the battle against the fight against rebel.
No, Mike, this thing in the Liberian society, it is a chronic disease. And we cannot let it go. We have to continue this push. And one of the reasons is people do these things, they get away with it, with impunity. And this rape issue is non-burial offense. But the idea at the end of the day, the government should not be allowing people to compromise these things. Nobody should come to court and say, the family say they want to go and settle this thing here. Because this is what happening in Liberia. Many of the cases are being swept under the rug. Or family can't always know that family thing will want to go. No. The government has to set an example. There have been too many rape cases in Liberia. Honor Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and it had sparkled during this government. Women have been raped. Even to what is the measure that the government is taking to send a message out there to these people? Look at that man. A former police officer, a former law enforcement officer, will abuse his stepdaughter, 4 years or whatever. What kind of mindset these people have in Liberia? Somebody else's daughter, because it's not even to abuse a 4-year-old child. But it's just dead wrong. These people should find themselves places that bear with high level. Because these people don't belong in the society. 2-3 years sentence is not anything for these people. These people should go to jail with high labor. Once they are going to the process and they found guilty, they should go to jail with high labor. But these people will go, you go there 2-3 years, the man back in the society. He got no identity to say the man as a sex offender, so he can't be around children. No. These people abuse the children, they come from jail, they go live in the same community with the same children. In the modern world, these people will not be allowed to go around any children. Some of them will not see a daylight again. But you got government officials who rape women. And sometimes they take the children, pay their parents money to get them out of the way so they cannot be prosecuted because they cannot come to testify. We need more campaign, we need more education as we're doing to sensitize our people. This is absolutely wrong. No society today should encourage in the 21st century, raping women, raping children, sodomizing boys. This is absolutely wrong. There should be no place for it in any modern society. And we cannot stop now. We have to continue to sensitize our people. Because if the people are not getting this information, look at what I'm not telling that child. If you report me, I will kill you. And this is the method they use on the children. Children staying with them. Raise the children, they continue to abuse them. They say, if you turn it down, I will pull you off. If you tell my wife, I will pull you off. This is common thing in Liberia. If you tell my wife, I will deny you, not do anything. In fact, you will not stay in my house. If you tell my brother, I will deny it. You will not stay here. And because these children, they don't have that education, the exposure to say they will go to school and tell the teacher, or the teacher don't observe the children. Because in the West, the teacher in the class observe the children's behavior. Why the child acting strange in class today, or the child been acting, what's going on? Let the teacher call her. Take her to a counselor office and say, look, what is going on in your home? Tell me. They don't have that exposure. They don't have that means. So if they go and tell them, they will slap that child. Oh, you want to put my husband in trouble? Oh, my husband helping me, so you want the man helping now, so you want to put her in trouble. They do all these kind of things. Some of the women come off for their husbands. And now what we're doing is to tell the neighbors, the people for the children, look out. Because the neighbors sometimes can observe what's happening. You don't have to call your name, just go and tell the authority. Let the authority do the investigation. Because these are the things they do to continue to abuse these women and children in Liberia. You know, they use it as a cover up. And the children, Because in the morning when the children go to school, if your son or daughter go to school, those teachers are there to observe it. Even when they see some mark on the child, they will ask the child, what happened? How you got this mark?
Yeah.
But in Liberia, our society is not yet educated to that point. For even the teachers or those who are put in charge of the children to take the responsibility and to observe these children. Because if the child comes in class acting strange, you want to know what happened. If the child sees a man, he gets afraid, a little girl child sees a man, she gets afraid, something is happening. All these signs should be there. People should be taught these things to know. So it's not that you're in the classroom and you're there teaching, but you are also there to observe these children because they're coming from different homes. Some of them being abused in the home. You don't know. And the only way you know until the teachers are being educated to these things here to tell them. Now, maybe that child in the neighborhood being afraid of men. She's sitting there, she alone. Nobody going to ask her what happened, why she's sitting there so alone, why she's not playing with her friends. Nobody going to ask her. She alone going through that pain and don't know nowhere to go. Living with that kind of monster in the house. Can you imagine someone you call your pa to be lying down with you? Someone you consider as your father to be lying down with a 4-year-old calling you, that child is calling daddy or papa. And you abusing that child like that. That's a monster. Those people should not have any place in our society. The gender ministry, these are the things that need to be doing.
Oh, my brother, I tell you, man. You're not mentioning that name.
In Liberia, many children being abused because, take it for example, most of the abuse that take place is always family member and friends. Most of the abuse you see is always family member and friends, not stranger. It's always family member and friends who will abuse these children. So the government, I lost my thought.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see whether we can progress a little bit. No, that man gone a long time. Forget about that man. He gone a long time. He gone Esther. That man gone a long time. With anything of that nature. All right, let me see what I think. Amos is back because normally setting phone call when it comes, it'll kick you out quick. So, all right, let's see whether we can progress. Let's take some of the headlines on the front page Africa, and then talk about this and on the story with the arrest today in Switzerland. Front page Africa actually decided to focus on some of the stories that are actually trending in Liberia in our community as well on social media. But let's take this one. The headline says Justice Minister implicated. Justice Minister implicated. Justice Banks links Justice Minister to Roe front petition leading to the case. This case. I mean, when I saw the headline today, I have to actually ring him and to actually find out what's going on. And let me say that BS. Don't worry, brother. All right, let's go. This one says, man goes missing on LAC plantation as family kinsman pressure company. Oh, man goes missing on LAC plantation as family kinsman pressure company. We have no idea. We see a group of people there trying to maybe they're protesting that they want to see. They want their relative back. Who was Gwendolyn Deborah? Who was Gwendolyn Deborah Wilson's second victim in crash kill representative? Who was Gwendolyn Deborah Wilson, second victim in crash that killed Representative Lawrence? Right, that's the story. The young woman that's telling here. I think she was actually an advocate as well. Hatred spinning out of control in aftermath of Lawrence loudspeaker's death. Hatred spinning out of control in aftermath of lawmakers' death. And these are the stories that are actually trending today. And a lot of people are actually having problem with how we taking things. I think somebody talking about love here as well. Let me show you this. I share this with you. This is the late honorable there. I think so. And these are some of the posts that people are posting. Who are those ungrateful idiots left on the list to die? Martin Colley, Darius Dillon, Yeke Koluba, and name a lot of people that they are on the list to die. So these are hate messages that are going around. And I think Front Page Africa, not only Front Page, I think that media institution in Liberia, they have to take these stories head on to actually deal with it. Other than that, the thing that happening, I think, is almost like we've forgotten from where we've come after the 14 years, that we went through in Liberia. It looked like, yeah, many of us have forgotten actually that we have no idea as to what we even went through. I think this is what's happening now. Quickly, this one said, Switzerland indict ex-ULIMO general for war crimes. Let me show you the headline. This is it. Yeah. That's a man there in the picture. It says, yeah, Switzerland indict ex-ULIMO general for war crimes in Liberia. So that's him there. We will have a look at that story later on. But just trying to flip through the headlines here and see. Okay. All right. Let me just quickly go over it so you can which one we can. We'll have to do the arresting last. But Justice Minister implicated. That's one headline there. And this one say man goes missing on LAC plantation as family kinsmen pressure company. They're asking where is their man? Who was Gwendolyn Dava Wilson, second victim in crash that killed representative? Who was that lady? They're asking. They have no idea. Hatred spinning out of control in aftermath of lawmakers' death. Out of death threat going on. Switzerland indict ex-ULIMO general for war crimes in Liberia. Right, Amos, which of this story before we do the last one, which has to do with the war crime thing, and talk about the April 5th something.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on maybe the Hader story, but and just to the Justice Minister, Musa Dane was the one who signed the petition of impeachment. He was one of the the one who signed the petition. So Mike, Liberia was supposed to sit back, take a step back, and look at how we're doing things in the country. Not for one group of people, or because I don't like you. So when I hear your name, I don't want to take time to inquire what you did. I just go ahead. But that's it. But the death of Lawrence, Honorable Lawrence, my sympathy to the family. When that news broke, Max, I saw on social media people rejoicing for this man.
Yeah.
And this man being a part of CDC. Why? Even if they're saying it's not the government or it's not people in CDC, but what do I expect the CDC, the party to do, to come up with some statement to deny those people who are rejoicing for the death of this man? Mike, I remember during the Taylor time, I think Tia Fakati was a representative, Tia Fakati, and I think Yenswa.
Yeah.
They died that evening in a car accident. I think Oro Johnson, a terrible accident. That time, like the country, Max, asked anybody who was there. The whole entire country was mourning for the death of those two young men. People who did not even know them. Nobody came out to say, just imagine NPF had just come to town, even what all was going on. But the entire country mourned for the death of Kpakio and Nyeso, I think, at the time. But since this government came to power, I would say that we are their government. This government have fermented, has supported the hatred in the country. They had divided the country. Why would someone die in a tragic accident? Man, take yourself and put you in the man. That man he has a wife, he has children, he got brothers and sisters. I don't know whether his parents are living. Why would people go on social media to rejoice the death of that man? Some of them, that man had not done anything to them. I don't know the young man. I never knew him. But when I saw the post on the people, it touched me that, hey, this is a young Liberian that died. Man, why can't we take ourselves and put ourselves in people's shoes? What happened is this man today, you all are rejoicing for the death of young man. This man was part of you people in his very organization. So if he has a disagreement with you people, is that warrant you to rejoice his death? Even if he had done something to you, will you take a step back and say, this man is a human being, he got formally, I will not rest everything, I will not say such a thing about him? But that is to tell you the point we are reaching in Liberian politics, that people are so wicked, cruel, that even that people that know or knew, just because they have a political disagreement with them, they had turned people to be an enemy, that if they see them anywhere that they can do everything to get rid of them, eliminate them. What Darren Dillon had done to some of these people, what Martin Collins has done, what Henry Costa had done. These people were the same people who spoke against Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, because they were on the other side of the fence, and you people were cheering them. Today, you people are in the fence, and they are on the other side of the fence. They say, then you people say, oh, we want all you people to be killed. Where are we heading? And this is why I always say, Mike, we Liberians are wicked. There's no other way I cannot sugarcoat it. We Liberians, we are wicked. And you can see the hatred that it is in us for one another.
Yeah.
We want to wait for time to explode. We want to wait for time to explode. And this is you see this kind of time. Because they say in time of crisis, that when you know who is your real friend. One message, that woman, Mrs. Doe, she will read the messages. She will see these things. How do you stand from this woman, a member of a party, to say, oh, no, we are in sympathy with you? When you have your supporters or sympathizers writing this kind of thing. And every time we talk, they say, oh, you're against the government. But I expect on one of the occasions, and address it on her and say, look, you know what happened? I am the president of this country. People have the right to criticize me. Let them criticize me. We have a difference, but we are not enemies. And I don't want sympathizer or partisan of this CDC government. When something happens, when such a tragedy occurs, for people to be issuing this kind of rhetoric, I do not support it. I will not condone it for any partisan. If you want to remain partisan, then you have to abide by these rules. Why the chairman, why the head of the party cannot come out to speak on this thing? Why the leader cannot call one day, this thing happened, why he cannot come out to speak on it? What you call dialogue with the Liberian people. I was elected by everybody, whether you support me or not, but I am the president. So if something happened to any government official who from another party or from this party you disagree with, you're not supposed to say this kind of thing. It is not what would represent us. It's not us. But every official of the party is silent. And I all bring it back to the doorstep. It means that they sanction these things, they support it. Because we are not seeing any call from the ruling party, any national leader to come on the occasion and say, no, we are Liberian, we are better than you. You cannot say this during this kind of period. You cannot say that. But who's saying that? Nobody. They issue more threats. They name people. And if you say people are there to support us, come on and condemn them. If these people are not your supporters, come on and condemn them. But if you are not condemning them, then of course we assume that they are your supporters. And you're supporting the ideas and the belief of these people. It is just disgusting, man, for people to sit down and write such a thing about this man and say such a thing about this man who died in such an accident. It's sad. Geraldine Doe, they did the same thing to her. Sherry, they did the same thing to her. Why this so much hatred? Why we cannot have a several discussion? Why is only one person that is someone that's one person? Do you think that person will be a person of a life? Don't you think that you'll meet some of the same people, some of the same family members, you'll meet them tomorrow? Why we cannot have a civility? Why so much hate? You know, and Max today, I listened to one guy, maybe you follow this guy, you are saying he post for one money flow. This guy today from the CDC for preaching peace. Apologize to people. That he are wrong people. It is not time for this guy. If you follow this guy, Vani Flomo, this guy wrote. He had been writing terrible things, responding to people on Facebook. Henry Costa, terrible things this guy has said to people. But he came up to say, I think it is not time that he take a step back. He has wrong many people. Like people cannot be built by one group of people. We all want to build like people, but maybe we're taking different routes. But we want to get to one point. It doesn't matter. We all take different roads. That is different ideas how to build a country. It doesn't mean we hate one person or we hate any particular leader. No.
Yeah.
But Mike, this is a world that we say today we are living in. Liberians, we have to take a step back. That's why I never write anything against somebody personally. I only talk about issues. I don't go after people formally. If something happened to someone, tragic, I express my sympathy. You know, one time that guy you responded to Mike one time, he always insult me. But the last time he wrote something that he lost his son and he was depressed. When I saw that post, I immediately responded to him. I said, look, I'm sorry. I feel for you. Because myself, I lost my son before in the war. So I know what it looked like. I wrote him a word to console him. I did not go there to tell him, oh, you deserve it. No. That's how we should be. Yeah, he and myself got political disagreement. But when the man said he suffered from depression, he had lost his son. That touched me because I lost my son too in the war. He didn't lose his son in the war, but it touched me. I know the feeling that when you lost the child. So I never responded to him. So why we can't do the same thing to other people? You know, now we can go, but it is just terrible wrong for Liberians.
All right, let's take a short musical break because you know, all these stories that I'm talking about today, talking about hate, it's so deep into the extent that I don't even know we don't even know where to take it now because and I quite agree with you. I think the leadership got to stand up. I've seen it here. Sometimes some of the issues said that the prime minister will talk on. Sometimes yesterday I say, oh, really? I told the minister, you know, some of the ministers are supposed to just talk about this also. But the prime minister herself, we jump inside and make a statement. You know, for you guys to challenge police is not right. For you guys to not be respecting the emergency unit is not right also. That's how it's supposed to be. The leader should take a step because this kind of a thing here, the way things are going and we overlooking it, you know, it's not only going to end on social media. It will go on the ground itself. They will harm people. And this is our fear that we shouldn't reach to that extent that you're walking and you're scared to walk or you're scared to leave your house or you're even in your house and you're scared who is knocking at your door or so. And the way our country is so dark, I mean, we don't. Let's take a short musical break. When we come back, we'll do this story about this arrest here, and we'll talk a little bit about the upcoming march. Let's see. Let's take this one from our brothers. The people team. Let's see what's going on here. All right, the song came actually just before the election, and the guys were actually giving us message that we should vote right, but we didn't listen to them. Yeah, because if you go deep down in the song, the guy will say they are coming again. They are coming, and they just coming to fool us. And when they finish, then they go, and then they say in the same song they say Amos, they said the same place the U.S. coming from, and the same place the U.S. going back. So meaning is there more going back to where it coming from than why staying in our country. Anyway, but we didn't listen. Sometimes the guys through the songs as well, they can actually tell us that we should be mindful, but sometimes we don't listen. All right, guys, we stay here on the print news review today, Wednesday. We have Amos, guest analyst, analyzing those stories. But we're going to do this story now, since we are going to do a little bit, talk about the upcoming march for justice in Liberia, justice for those innocent souls that were taken away from us. Some of them they didn't even get to see this planet Earth because they were still 7 months or 8 months or so in the stomach of their mothers or so. So these are the people we are going to march for. But let's tie in with the story. Quickly to this, Switzerland indicts ex-UNIMO general for war crimes in Liberia. Let's take the story a little bit, then we'll get back to Amos. Swiss authorities on Tuesday indicted a former general of the defunct United Liberation Movement for Democracy in Liberia, UNIMO, for war crimes allegedly committed in the Liberian Civil War 1989 to 2003 in a landmark case in Switzerland's judicial history. Swiss authorities refused to say the suspect's name, but Cavitas Maxima and Liberia-based Global Justice Research Project, which have been gathering evidence in the case, identified him as Aliyu Kosia. Kosia has been in custody since his arrest in November 2014, but was only on last Friday indicted for war crimes, including murder, rape, torture, and inscription of child soldiers. He denies all charges. The suspect is being accused of violations of the laws of war as a member of a military faction in the context of the internal armed conflict that took place in Liberia between 1989 and 1996. The Office of the Attorney General of Switzerland said in a statement reported by France 24 on Tuesday. It added that the investigation into Kosia's alleged crimes were particularly complex due to the lack of cooperation by Liberia. Sources say both governments of President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and George Weah have ignored requests from European investigators to gather evidence inside Liberia for the cases of Kosia, Agnes Reeves Taylor ex-wife being tried in the UK, Martina Johnson of the MPFL facing trial in Belgium, and Conti K in France, all of whom have been charged in European jurisdictions for war crimes and crimes against humanity committed in Liberia's civil war. Kosia is the second Urimo ex-general to be charged in connection to the Liberia Civil War. In 2017, Mohamed Jabate, alias Jongo Jaba, was tried and sentenced to 30 years jail for immigration fraud after a Philadelphia jury found he lied to U.S. immigration authorities about his crimes and role during the war. While Jabate and Tom Boweyu, Charles Taylor, number 2 in the National Patriotic Front of Liberia, were convicted in the U.S. for immigration offenses. Kosia is being tried under the principle of universal jurisdiction, a legal principle that enables countries to try foreign residents for crimes they allegedly committed on foreign soil. It is under this same principle that Martina Johnson and Agnes Reeves Taylor and Kunti K have been charged. The case against Kosia is Switzerland's first ever on an international criminal offense. Prosecutors say they had heard more than 60 cases since 2011, but have termed that number to a dozen currently being investigated. Kosia allegedly committed the crimes between 1993 and 1995 in Lofa County. There, the indictment said he mutilated a corpse of a civilian, raped a civilian, ordered the cruel treatment of civilians, recruited and employed a child soldier, ordered several pillages, and ordered or participated in a forced transport of goods and ammunition by civilians. It also alleged that he aimed at enslaving and terrorizing the population in the county. The case against Kosia, who has been living in Switzerland since 1997, began after 7 Liberians in Liberia alerted Swiss prosecutors of his alleged crimes and filed a case against him, according to Victims Group Trial International. Caritas Maxima, the Swiss-based human rights organization seeking justice of war victims around the world, praised the Liberian survivors of Kosia's alleged crimes. We are proud that the bravery of the victims who testified against Aliyu Kosia is finally being recognized through this trial, said Alan Wenner, director of Caritas Maxima, and Romain Wavery, its legal counsel, in a statement. An estimated 250,000 people were killed in the Liberian Civil War, one of the 20th century's most brutal conflicts. All right, the story quite lengthy, so I don't know, let me continue. The trials of Liberian in Europe and America have inspired a resurgence of the implementation of the country's Truth and Reconciliation Commission TRC report that called for a code 10 years ago. President George Weah, unlike former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, was not indicted by the report, but has not shown political will to set up the court. He has formed a power bloc with Senator Prince Johnson, of Nema County, one of the world's most notorious perpetrators, and has appointed others in key positions in his government. However, advocates are seizing an opportunity to remind the government to set up the court. This is a great day for justice in Liberia, a great day for all victims, said Hassan Beliti, whose group, Global Justice and Research Project, works with Capital's Maxima. We use this occasion to call on the Liberian government to take steps in creating a war crimes court in Liberia for the thousands of victims of the civil war, he said. Adama Dempster of the Civil Society Human Rights Advocacy Platform of Liberia praised Swiss prosecutors for the move. No one is above the law, no matter where you committed a crime, Dempster said. The indictment of Aliyu Koisa is a boost to the national campaign, and it has just sent a greater signal to alleged war crimes perpetrators in Liberia that there will be and there is going to be a day for that they themselves will have to face the full weight of the law. Mandingos in civil war. Crime and Mandingo refugees fleeing elimination by the MPFL, who saw them as supporters. Then President Samuel K. Doe formed UDIMO in May 1991. The group's founders were Alhaji Kroma, a former Minister of Information, and Raleigh Siki, a Deputy Minister of Finance, both during the Doe regime. The group quickly gained control of the mineral-rich northern and western Liberia. The group later split into UDIMO K, led by Nkrumah, and UDIMO J, led by the late Roosevelt Johnson. The TRC recorded that UDIMO committed the fifth most atrocities during the Liberian Civil War, including the killing of 114 young men in Zozo in March 1993 for allegedly supporting MPFL, and 300 people of the Loma tribe in Vonjama in July 1993. When the group broke up into Kran-dominated UDIMO J and Mandingo-dominated UDIMO K, UDIMO K committed the 9th most atrocities of the war, according to the TRC. That means it committed more crimes than UDIMO J, rather, the Independent National Patriotic Front of Liberia, MPFL, and the anti-terrorist unit of the of then President Taylor. Kumar denied that the group committed crimes during the war when he appeared before the TRC in 2009, and Mandingos have accused Belete and other prosecutors in the Jabate and Koisha trial of witch hunt. I don't know how the mayor will witch hunt you when you come from the same tribe. Now, this is it. I think we are getting there, isn't it, Amos?
Oh, Mike, look, what I said, we got to keep this pressure on. We have to keep the pressure on. There will be stumbling block, there will be roadblocks, but we should continue to forge ahead. If the Europeans are trying people for crimes they committed in Liberia, then what's about us, we Liberians? This is not, it's not about witch hunting certain group of people, but we want redress for what took place in Liberia, that it should not happen again. Because if people are not accountable for what they did in the past, it will create room for other people that can sit and say, and then we can get ready and go and put a group of people in the bush and kill Liberians, and we'll do the same thing. So we don't want this thing to reoccur, the reoccurrence of this thing. This is what we want to prevent it. And how do we prevent it? And how do we unite the country? It's by bringing those people who are giving order, command, to bring them the book. Look, Mr. Archie Kroma, Roosevelt Johnson is dead, but they can go to the court and say, you know what happened? I didn't do this. I didn't command this group. Bring your evidence to show. It's not about Mandingo, Loma, or Pele, or crime. It's about unifying the country. We cannot sit down and see people who allegedly committed atrocities, kill people, massacre people, children. And these people are roaming in Liberia today with power. It doesn't send any message to any civilized world. So we have to tell the civilized community that we are part of that world. And how do we do it? Is bringing people to book. If today they still looking for people who committed atrocities during the Nazi war, then what's about Liberia?
Yeah.
The Nazi, people who killed Jews in the Nazi camp, concentration camp, they are still persecuting today. So what makes us exceptional? What makes us different from those people? Look what the people are saying. Participated in the war, he was no charge. But he had found a political bloc with Prince Johnson. Why? If people say they didn't do anything, let them go to court and prove their case. But you cannot have this work in government and continue to threaten the peace and stability of the country. And you expect me to be calm with them? No. Don't worry, you're waiting for his sentence. He's gone. He's gone to jail for 50 years plus. We as Nigerians, we have to continue to advocate. Someone will listen to our plea. We were victims of this war. And there's no way for me, I will ever be something again. My 1-year-old child was burned. Dupero massacre. I never saw her body. What did that innocent child do to anybody? And you expect me to be quiet, to say, oh, everything is well. The Kpakio massacre, the Lutheran Church massacre.
Yeah.
Upa, bomb county, bombing. But it was done on a command of certain people. In 13, 14-year-old children just got out and went and grew a group of people and killed them. That order came from someone.
Yeah.
Someone in the hierarchy. They gave that order. It were not these boys who just were going. It were not these boys who just get and say, we're going to kill a group of people. To carry on the massacre. Right now, the guy who used to be ahead of the anti-terrorist squad, I think they call him Moses Thomas. In America, some people are suing him for the Lutheran massacre. He appealed the last night, appeal was denied. Because they with the trial. So, we cannot rest on this issue. People will say things to discourage us. They will call our names. But the bottom line, we are fighting for those innocent 250,000 people that were killed in Liberia. Those are the people that we are fighting for. Those are the people that we are speaking for them today. And there's no way we can back off this thing. Cecilia Johnson, Agnes Taylor, Ali Kassa, all the guys, let it go to court, and let the court say you are not guilty. They can be absorbed into society. Our person, we are. The government of Liberia is not giving people support. This is the question. The government of Liberia is not giving people support. What is the reason? And President Weah, everybody assumes that you are not a participant of the war. Can you hear me, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah. People assume that President Weah was not participant of this war.
Of course.
He told us, in here, the video are there, that any Liberian blood will not be waste for nothing. I will hold those people accountable when I become president. So, President, why you can live up to your word? Why you can live up to your word? You are in Europe playing football. Do you know the pain, the suffering that we went through in Liberia? Women and children were being raped. Pregnant women's stores were open. People have to deny their own tribe to survive.
Yeah.
In certain areas, you couldn't say that you were crying. You couldn't say you were Mandingo. You couldn't say you were Loma. You couldn't say you were Pele. In certain areas, you have to deny your tribe to survive. And then we are answering person, we are just give the go ahead. The issue of money, don't worry. We can appeal to people of who will to support this issue. They don't have to be trying like if we don't have the capacity, we can ask international community. We don't have the capacity to try the people. Then they could move to somewhere else. But the government have to go up for it. Because other than that, people cannot just go into Liberia and grab anybody. The government have to sanction that decision. The government have to support that decision. And President Weah is not the definite. It's not forthcoming. President Weah, if you don't want to support this war crime code, just make your position clear to the Liberian people. Then we can know the next step. But we cannot be in limbo. You cannot keep us in suspense. Tell us your government position. So the April 5th March, President Wells should be in a position to look into the Liberian people and tell them, you know what happened? I'm not interested in this thing. And now my government will not support it. Then we can move on. But you cannot say you go to the legislature. No. Don't baffle us. Tell us exactly what you're going to do. Either your government is in favor or not. Then we know the next step to take. But we will not sit down quietly for women, children, innocent people to be killed. And these people who allegedly did this crime are sitting down in Liberia or around the world enjoying themselves. What happened to our Banja resident? Who went to kill this man? Lutheran church people were seeking refuge in the church. Sanctuary. That is the last place to go in the sanctuary where people fought.
Last place of hope.
People in the church will go. All night. Not even all night. 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. People are running for their lives. People clothes were hanging through the church windows, trying to escape death. People went to JFK to seek refuge. People went after them in JFK. All these things happening in Liberia. And there people are sitting down, they are acting like there's nothing happening. How can you tell me you want reconciliation, but you don't want to admit your guilt? How many warlords have ever gone to the public in an era that they offended people to say that, you know what happened? We did this. Sorry for what we did. How many times have done that? And you expect us to accept, to just sit down, surprised that there's nothing happening. They can issue all the threats. They can issue all the threats. They can do all the denial. But we will not relent. We will continue to sing this song of war crime and economic code in Liberia. If this government doesn't want to do it, they can tell us. That will not be the end of our campaign.
No.
We will continue to monitor this campaign, because if people who were not indirectly affected are taking our cause outside of the country, then what's about us? What are we telling the people? What message are we sending to them if we just sit down and say everything is okay? They will say okay. If the people cannot talk for us, why we should be in the forefront? But because these people don't want anything to reoccur, or the reoccurrence of this situation, that's why you see these people are going after these people. And I think this government of the government of President Weah should be fully in the mood to cooperate with these people, to give them the necessary information that needed to prosecute these people. Because if you give all the evidence and these people are not guilty, they too can be free to move about. But if the government is not forthcoming, then of course it appears that the government is in some coup or connive with certain group of people. That is something I will come up with.
Yeah.
That is the assumption I will come up until someone proves me wrong. Because if I know I'm not in anything with anybody and they want some information, I will voluntarily give that information. But if I'm holding back information, then it means that something that maybe I have done and some other person know and someone in one of the group know will call my name, so I'm afraid. That's the only reason that the government will not want to cooperate with the institution. And that's the only reason the government, because people always make this silly argument, Max, excuse me, that why Ellen Johnson. But we all know the role that Ellen Johnson played. She was one of those financiers of the war. So how do you expect Ellen Johnson on her regime to establish a war crime code?
Yeah, that's the thing.
In what person reform would have done that? She set up a committee, but then she told the committee was going to leave her out. But the committee showed the role she played, and which was true. So now, how will she come back to say, okay, I support the code? Because she knows that the code will go after, the people will go after, will go after her. So she played a delay and left. And President William, we expected to come and say, okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead. Maybe you'll find money. The government don't have money, but you'll find money. Let it try the people. We cannot try that. We don't have the capacity. Let it locate an area for you. Let us suggest where people have fair trial. Let the government say that. And if the international community cannot help them, we cannot blame the government. If the government says they don't have the resources or security, okay. Then that's another issue. But you cannot remain on it. You cannot be silent on the issue and pushing it to say, oh, that the legislature is supposed to create a law. No. Even if the legislature creates a law, if you don't sign on it, it can't work.
No, it won't.
It won't. So even if the legislature say, yeah, we'll create a special code to try these people, the person of the United States, the person of Liberia had to sign on it because the government has to provide some logistics and things like that or security. Or even if they will not do it, but they will have to create a condition that they will have to cooperate with other institutions outside the country, that if people will be extradited to those countries, that will happen. So there's no way around that person. We can get it around with it. He cannot get away with it. The truth of the matter is, he has to okay this code. He has to say, yes, I'm ready, let people be tried. Then we can talk about avenue or where they try these people. What are the logistics? But until he do that, we will continue to push this line. That the war crime and economic court must be there. Look at what that he has set up a committee to inquire from ex-leader how to acquire those wealth. Besides the corruption thing they investigating, there's another committee they set up. Ex-government officials how to acquire those wealth. When that press conference he had, I don't know what a town hall meeting he had, he said it. So why we are acting like there's nothing did not happen in Liberia? Like everything was just people just made noise and forgot about it. No, there was a crisis that people were raped, children were abused, human beings were killed for no reason. And these are some of the things I said. So innocent brown people were killed who did not enjoy anything from those. So innocent Mandingo people were killed who did not enjoy anything from Mr. Ahaji Kromadin. But the only reason they were killed because they were Mandingo. And the only reason some of the people were killed because they were crime. The only reason some Basamen were killed because some Basamen were in power. And the only reason some Perepe were killed because some Perepe were in power. But the people did not, as a whole, did not enjoy anything from those people. But they were only killed because they were because of the tribe, which was absolutely wrong. to do so. And now we are calling that, hey, look, you know what happened? What happened? We don't want to see it being repeated. And the only way we can go about to stop this kind of incident until we hold those leaders who are commanding and controlling these people. And the notion that people want to use this thing to say, hey, they're coming for all the zongos, or how they call them, whatever. No. We know some children were 13, 12, took for various reasons. Some of them were forced. Some of them because their parents were killed. They took up arms. They had no direction. But they had commanders who were commanding them and telling them, go and do this thing here, do it. If you don't do it, we'll do that to you. Those are the kind of people we're talking about. And the TRC report said it. Nobody is after the children who are in the street. We want people who are in position, command and control position.
Yeah.
These are the people that the War Crime Code and Economic Crime Code is looking for. People who are in Lofa County, Lower Bopolu, who are looting the resources while they have other poor people fighting and dying for them and were not even caring for them. Because they were highly educated, knew what they wanted. So they manipulated poor children, putting them in the bush, digging the gold and diamond, bringing it to them, and selling it and enriching themselves. But these children, at the end of the day, where are they today? How many children you can see today to say that the ex-warlord are going to create any program to benefit them?
No way.
They don't know that again.
No way.
They don't know that again. So we have to make this thing very clear. It is not about ordinary fighters. It is about those who are in power, who are doing the command and control, and those who are exploiting the resources. These are the people that we are talking about. I don't care what side you come from, what tribe you come from, I don't care. If your name is mentioned, go there and face the court. But we are urging the judge, we are their government. The April, March, President, we should be in a position to tell those of us who are advocating for this thing and just be blunt with us.
Yeah.
Be blunt with us. That's why you are a leader. You make decisions. Tell us, you know what happened? I understand your plight, but my government will not support this. Then we know your position. But don't refer us to national legislature. Don't tell us that you got to study it. You've been power 1 year and a half, going to a year or two now. So you know this problem. You are advocate of this problem. Akaya Gray, Molba Molden, you all, their letter people wrote to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. The many war crime court, the documents are there. They stay there. So why you put that today? I in the driver's seat. Don't want to move this car. People think I would accept it. It means that you people were showing us a different side. It was not the real color.
Sure.
What people were telling the Liberian people was not the real color. This is the true color now people are telling us. Because people are only manipulating the system to get to power. And once you get to power and tell the person, hey, we're done with that issue. And that is why it will not be accepted. We will not compromise this, and we are not going to release silence. You can issue all the threats. All the threats you can issue to someone else. How I would say, if I die in Liberia, my soul will be happy for your cause. I said it plainly, I don't have it. If anyone wants to kill me because I speak it or I support it, fine. But that will not intimidate or put fear in someone else to let the thing go. No. Max, where we are rich, I always say this, we are in the middle of the water. You either got drowned or you cross the water. I'm not going back. That is to say, I'm going to shut my mouth. on the war crime economic court. I was a victim. Other people were victims. Killed my 1-year-old child, and you think I would sit down and put my hand behind her head because I'm afraid to die? No. My child did not do anything to you. If I did something to you, I think you would have come after me. I did it to you. You would have come after me, not 1-year-old child. He didn't have nothing, he was an innocent child. So at many of those people who were killed, raped, pregnant with God puppy, what did they do? What was the crime? It's not because you see someone from the physical look that you just don't like them. Because we are human beings, we just see you from the physical look, say, I don't like that person. So we'll get rid of you. Some people did it. But what we are seeing, we don't want this thing to happen again in Nigeria. And the only way we can send a clear message is by holding those people who perpetrated this war, who financed this war, who were ordering and commanding people to burn down villages, to burn down towns, to kill a group of people because they dislike them.
No.
Collective justice is not the order of the day. Selected justice, because you come from a certain group of people, so we just grab people and kill you. Selected justice is not, it should not be the order of our life. We believe that the true law of justice, that if someone is accused, must go through the procedure, the process. We don't want no jungle justice. We are not asking to grind in the water and put them in the pool or stone and no. We want these people to have the due process. The same due process that Mr. Chancellor was accorded. The same due process Mr. Tonwo was accorded. The same due process of Keita was accorded. All these people have given their justice, their days in court, to exonerate themselves, to clear themselves. They were given all more time to confront those who they allegedly offended, to hear from witnesses. So we are not demanding that people must just be grabbed and put to jail. No. We want everybody to go through that court process. So if you are exonerated at the end of the day, you move forward, you walk forward, you go back to your community. These are the things that we are advocating for. And we're not going to sit down here and say, oh, because the bigger is why you can't come to Liberia. Someone come to Liberia. I've been to Liberia on many occasions. But to say that because you go issue this as a person, we should keep silent? No. The 202 Nigerians that died, let them displaced because of a sensitive war. And we don't want people ever again, our children or children yet unborn, to experience this thing. It is why that we are advocating for justice. Because every time when people do things, they get away with it, then other people pursue it, other people will follow. That's how human beings behave. Because if someone steals today and they're not punished, the next guy says he did it, so what will happen to him? What they will do to him? That's that mentality. And you can't have all the war laws in Liberia, occupying government position, or living a private life to say yes, it's okay. Because other people, that human behavior, that human tendency, they will say, those people, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, the poor people in the bush, they kill the same people. We are going to do it too. That is why we, the advocates, we don't want no war in Liberia. We want everything to go. We are not advocating to destroy anybody, but what we are advocating, we want fair justice. Those people who was allegedly accused must go through the court. Let it explain themselves. They also have the win for TRC and explain the story. Let it go through the court and explain the story. People who are accused, let it bring evidence. Let it bring witnesses to testify. or those things, there will be no genuine peace in Liberia. In the absence of transparent justice, war crime code, and economic code, there will be no peace in Liberia. Any peace in Liberia will be charismatic. That's a terrible. It's not a peace. Because why? People are still bleeding in the heart. People are saying, "How today?" The best way we can bring peace is by having the victim and victim sit down and say, "Yes, today justice is done. I'm done." Because once the justice served, we can move forward. But how do you expect me to live with someone in peace and love who are suspected or suspect that he killed somebody from me? How do you expect me to be with that person in peace? For heaven's sake, you can laugh. That life is not real. You think, realistically speaking, you think a typical crime man would sit down with Johnson and laugh and say, "Yeah, we are brothers," knowing what he did to the leader or to the person, and this man has not been accountable. But if this man go through court and he's found guilty, then of course justice has been served. People can move on now. But if it's not done, it's not justice. There's no peace. People accuse George Boley. People accuse Ahaji Kroma. And you think these people are souls? They are very naive to say, "Oh yeah, what happened? We just forget and move on." They will tell you. But in the bottom of their heart, deep down, it's not real. So how you expect me to reconcile with someone who have not admitted their guilt? How you expect me to make peace with someone who have not made their wrongdoing? How do you expect me to talk to someone, to embrace somebody who are not taking responsibility of what they did? And you are telling me during the absence of all those things, if you just say, "Oh yeah, bygone be bygone, kumaya," no, like it's not right. It is not right. Today, tomorrow, it's not right. People must earn up to what they did. Take responsibility. Take charge of what you did. Be a man and say, "Look, I did it. I'm sorry." But during the absence of all those, and you expect us to embrace you, now we should go and sit down and say everything okay. Emmanuel Sandwich, his brothers and sisters, died because someone prevented his mother not to go. So are you saying that man should just sit down and say, "Oh yeah, everything is well"? This young man, he told his story. They killed his father, better than they killed his father. Boy, he said, "Boys in Ghana can't return to Nigeria." Do you expect people who parents, some people neck were cut off between their children, from the family members? What is the message I will tell these people? That all is well. Some people will not go back. They will not go back to their villages again. So after what they saw and what happened, they cannot go back to their villages. They can't go back to the certain region. They said, "I'm not going there again. I'm done." What do we tell these people? How can we convince somebody to say, "Oh, come here"? Because people that are perpetrating this crime, they are now in jail or they have gone to court. What is the face that we will have to convince someone to go back to those areas? And what is the face of those people who defend these people to tell me my pain, Emmanuel Sandwich pain, other people that we don't know their name, their pain, what they are going through today? A child who is living with a father, a child who is living with a mother. But parents were killed just because, for no reason.
Yeah.
What do you tell that child?
So sad.
How can you console that child to say, hey, you know what happened? Let's move on. How can we move on when the people who committed the atrocity are still living today and enjoying the resources of government? And those people who are affected not even having the opportunity or even the least chance to say my life will be changed because the government is doing this for me. No. But yet, but today, you tell us we want to bring trouble into the country because that has someone to refer to us. We are advocating for war crime and economic code. They say we want to bring trouble into the country. But you take decision and put them in our seat. What happened? If that happened to any of your commanders, for you to be sitting and say, I'm okay with these people roaming around here. You know what happened? One night they come and grab someone from the house, the children there, and that man never came back and they don't know his grave. What is the story? Now that child or woman will tell about her husband. All she can say, my husband was taken from her one night and that was the end of it. What did he do? Nothing. They suspect him to be some supporter of some group. So that was his crime. Is that warrant someone's life? Because you support somebody or sympathize with some group? Is that warrant someone's life, taking somebody's life? Is that warrant because this time you suspect that the town supported this group, so therefore you come there and massacre everybody, slaughter everybody in that village? Knowing the situation that these people are on. Every rebel group that went to a village or town, those people were prison, they were taken as prisoners of those rebel groups. They never had a way, they were forced to do things for those groups. So if another group came and drove the other group out, then they turn around and say, you people were supporting that group, so we'll kill all of you. Many of these people were caught in the middle of an innocent battle that they had nothing to do with. Because you go to Lofa, Udimoke is in the town. Everybody there got to support Udimoke, whether you like or not. You can't say anything against Udimoke. If Udimoke can draw Udimoke or Udimoke will turn around and say, hey, you guys, you were all supporters, want to see who all was supporting this group. Now, those people now are victims. You come to kill everybody there because you say they were supporting that group. These people know how I am. You people that have the arm were controlling these people out of their will, preventing them not to leave. And you expect us to say all is well. No. So this March, the April 5th March, I am in the government of Liberia. So His Excellency, Max George, President of the Republic of Liberia, you see the reason to be killed. Please, he told us when we were campaigning that no Liberian blood will be wasted or will be wasted for nothing. To make sure those are the words. Anybody that shares Liberian blood will be accountable for it. President, we are. This is the occasion. This is the time for you to live up to that commitment. The Liberian people will tell you. It is not time. The check they gave you, it's not time for you to cash that check. Please accept the war crime code. If you won't, just tell us ready. Now you know what happened. You know, we are human beings. We can change. Today, my decision has changed. I'm not supporting it. So we can move on. It's better to know, to tell us your position, than to keep her in suspense. To keep her in suspense will not occur well for us. But if you tell your position, then we know your position. So we cannot say, oh, we're hoping that the government will do it. No, the government will just tell your position. It's just plain and simple. Don't tell us, I'm going to listen, because this is not the first match. This is the second match. So by now, just make your decision clear to us. Make it clear to us. And the ECOWAS code is not even helping the situation, because there is no contradiction in the statement. If you are there for individual rights, then why you cannot be there for majority rights?
Yeah.
What is the difference between individual right and the majority rights? What's the difference? So what was the purpose of setting the ECOWAS code? Is not to solve conflicts where there's dispute and other things from other countries? For us to say we give up Mac, we cannot give up.
No.
There are people who are putting their resources into this thing, moral and support. Find out they are putting it in. People who don't know Liberia, people who don't know Liberians, but some of them are not doing it because from the story, from what they have read, what they have seen. And if these people are doing it, then why we can do it? Because this argument that the government is too young, that is an excuse. The government can say, you know what, I will accept the proposal, but next year this time, we'll give her to go ahead to come up with a war crime code. And with that, then we know definitely we have an agenda we're working on. But they cannot continue to dodge away from the issue. But we will not step aside of this issue. Because people cannot express it by killing people. You kill them, you take their money, you take their resources, and turn around and sit down and boast. It's like just I said it. You went to go to war crime court. You can prove his case. So you didn't kill anybody. That's good. He has said it. He said he didn't kill anybody. He said he didn't kill anybody. Okay. So who will be the adjudicate? Go to the court. Let the court see all the evidence. And if they say you're free, you go. Laurent Gbagbo, and the court went, the last time said Laurent Gbagbo was free. Laurent Gbagbo from Ivory Coast.
Of course.
They're free. So why? So why is the government of Liberia dragging her feet on this issue? Why is the president of Liberia dragging his feet on the issue?
Why, Mr. We are dragging her feet.
Why? Listen, it's close. You know, so I just want to say thank you to all those who are advocating for the war crime, economic crime code in Liberia. Mr. Emmanuel Service, Yassini, Pazavia, George Lobo, Julius, David Capley, cannot remember all the names, but these guys who are advocating, I want to acknowledge them. It's a long way, but we'll get there one day. Some of them may be gone, but the fight will continue until there's full justice to in Liberia on the war and economic crime code. And the only thing I can say, this momentum going to keep. We should not release our foot on the brakes. We should not let people to deter us, to distract us. Because people come and say all kinds of things, and they continue to say it. Yes, it is your right to say it. But I don't know if you are in the position that some of are in today, what will you say? Or what would you want people to tell you? All these people in government today, half of them advocated for the same thing when Ellen was living. I mean, when Ellen was in government. So why did they are in power and then they say, oh no, we can't do it? What is the cause? What is the reason? Is it political? Economical? Is it travel? Is it executive? We have to know what is the cause, why the government is refusing to give this hope to go ahead. Why they are refusing to even cooperate with international organizations that is in the process of charging other people to try them. Why they cannot cooperate with these people? So then it tells you there is something deep someone is hiding. It tells you something deep that someone is hiding. If they don't want to cooperate with the international community, it means that they will not cooperate with us because we all are fighting towards the same goal. We are not advocating to say Nigeria should be excluded from the world. No. All we are seeing is we want economic transport in Nigeria. So those who are in Nigeria who are advocating, drop over them. Somebody made it Sherry, Aaron, all these people in Nigeria who are trying the weak way to keep the issue on the burner. And we have to continue to tell our people, the Nigerian public, not people in Monrovia, the people outside Monrovia, who villages and towns, who people cannot tell you where some of their children are. They don't know. They are living in a dream that one day I will see my son, or they say he's all over places. But it's a illusion. They will not see them again. They're gone. They were killed. So we want to tell these people, this is the reason that we are advocating that these people can be brought to justice, the perpetrator of these crimes. That we don't want it to happen again. So we basing moral politicians or whatever in the larger groups. They can defend what they want to defend. But let us speak to the broader community, the people outside Monrovia. Monrovia is not Liberia. People in Grand McGill County, Basso, Bum, Lofa, Grand Sano, Maryland. These are the people who should be talking to. Because these are the people who fed the brunt of this war. Everybody, every corner of Liberia fed the brunt. But today in Monrovia, there are a certain group of people who feel that there's nothing happening. That this is unusual. Because some of them are in a position benefiting or directly, indirectly for some of these people. So they feel that if people are in trouble, their bread will be cut off. So they come to say we are defending these people. We don't want to support this. It happens in every society. But we will not stop. Monrovia is not a winner place. Pakistan, bombing. Terrible thing happening in bombing. Again, my terrible thing happening in Lofa, Boko. 40% were hit. And it's still fair the war there. So what message are we sending to these people? That tomorrow people will come back again and do the same thing? No. We want to tell people that you should depend on doing law and order. People should abide by laws. Not just one man getting on because he got plenty and going put people in the bush to come and kill other people because he wants political power. No. And the best way we are doing it, we don't have the money to go recruit people and put them in the bushes. What we want to do is do it the civilized way. Let people go to court. Let the court decide their fate. We are not advocating to bring any confusion to Nigeria. Nobody advocating for war crime economic is deciding to bring anything in Nigeria. Those people who went and put people in the bushes, that was their way of solving their problem. But for us, we say no. Our parents go to the court system. We should dialogue with the government. We are not going to, we don't even have the money. I can't even afford my own food to eat, so I don't have money to go raise money to put someone in the bush. What we want is, we want the court to operate. We want to make sure those who are accused must have the day in court. Let it have the lawyers. Let it face the accuser so they can see. We don't want to grab anybody and just say you're chunk the man in jail because there's an allegation made against him. No. So we want to set a premise that tomorrow this will not be repeated. So people can say, oh yeah, you see what happened? This is what happened to this people. This is what we want. If today's Nazi Germany is still going after people who commit atrocities, then why we can't do it? Seldom did it. Rwanda did it.
All right. Sadly, our people, our time is up. But it's a topic that we continue to talk about because the establishment of war and economic crime for Liberia, and of course the full implementation of the TRC reports or recommendations are paramount to peace and development in Liberia. There's no development without justice. Unless we take the bull by the horn, Liberia will continue to face the wrath that we're facing right now. Amos, thank you. I mean, you have given you an additional 15 minutes, but thank you so much for tonight. And let's hope that our people will continue to listen, especially for coming up the April 5th, just to reiterate. April 5th, will be in Monrovia. Myself, I will be on the ground. A few of us from the diaspora will be there. What we want you to do, for those of you that are not going, and you believe in what we are going to do, you support what we are going to do. We're going to make case for the establishment of war and economic crimes code for Liberia. We want to go and meet governments or countries' representatives through their ambassadors, and present petition statement to them. We want to meet the Liberian government and also give them a petition statement calling upon them to see reason for the establishment of war and economic crimes code for Liberia. And so we all can't go, especially those of us in the diaspora, we all can't go there, right? If we all could, I mean, it would have been great. But at the same time, we all can be a part of that. And so for those of you who haven't yet, you're hearing the message for the first time, you haven't yet contributed, we have a GoFundMe as well, because as you know, protest like this, march like this, where we are, we have multitude of people coming out or so. People, you know, we don't expect people to actually be buying water, to buy water by themselves or so, if they have transported themselves from all the way outside of Monserrate County and coming to Monrovia, at least if we can provide them water to drink while we move from one point to another, that would be great. So that's the reason we are asking for little contributions. So some of you know Emmanuel Service. Check my page as well. The link is there. The GoFundMe is under the name of Emmanuel Service. Or you go, if you're a friend with Emmanuel Service, just find him as well. You go on your page and just maybe scroll down a little bit, you'll come across the GoFundMe appeal, $5 or so. If you can ever call him, and you can also wire the money to him as well. Whatever amount we are going, I mean, nothing going to hold us back, whether we get what we want in terms of what will help us to run the show there or not. It's already set. Emmanuel leaving tomorrow, and by the grace of God, he will be in Monrovia, and I will follow later. So we are asking you, please join in, not join us, but join in. Let us advocate, continue to advocate for those innocent souls that were taken away forcefully by the bloodthirsty people, and have justice for them, so that their souls can rest in peace as well. So we must let's end here tonight, and we say thank you so much for your usual contribution, and we appreciate very, very much. You're always available, and I hopefully next week yeah, we do 1 or 2 segments before, or maybe yeah, your day is on Monday, so we do your Monday before I leave. So thank you and have a very a blessed night as well. Say thanks to our people that have been listening.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. And I think you must also talk before you leave. And I have made some contribution, but I will still try again before you leave to make extra contribution. And I will want you to bring me some t-shirts. So I'll be in touch with you. I will, when you get to Morovia, to get me some t-shirts to bring from for souvenir. So I will make that
Okay.
funds available once you get to Morovia.
All right. No, definitely that one, Emmanuel, from Canada to posting from Canada to the state, the east UK. So I will make sure Emmanuel would take it with him and post it from Canada.
Okay.
All right, Amos. Thank you so much.
Okay, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you so much for tonight. The print news review. Presenter, producer, and presenter, Master K Mixer, and of course, our guest analyst was Amos George. Amos, normally, in fact, I will sketch you now. We will be here 3 days a week. Monday is Amos, Tuesday is Linfo Goya, and Friday is Fidel Bude. Well, Amos was sitting in today because Linfo was away. But Monday will be for Monday is Amos, Wednesday Linfo Goya, and Friday is Fidel Bude. So until then, for another segment of this print news review on Friday, I want to wish you a pleasant good night, if it is night to you. If you are already in Tuesday also or Thursday also, may you have a blessed day as well. Thank you very much. May God bless you, bless the continent of Africa, and above all else, may God bless Mama Liberia.